You really can't trust a man in the first 3 to 6 months of a relationship because he is trying to get you attached to him.
Hold on right there. This is the thing. Most people are going to hear that and immediately turn it into men versus women. But that's not the deeper lesson here. The deeper lesson is attachment. The first few months of any connection are not the time to surrender your judgment. That's the time to simply observe. This is the time to listen. That is the time to watch whether words and patterns match. The problem is that most people enter the beginning of a relationship hungry, desperate, wanting to be chosen, hungry, desperate to be wanted, hungry to feel like this time is finally different. And when you're hungry, attention can look like love. When you're hungry, consistency can look like destiny. When you're hungry, chemistry can look like the truth. But attachment is not proof that something is real. Sometimes attachment only proves that something touched an unmet need. Listen, the hermit does not rush into emotional dependence. The hermit just watches, because what appears quickly can disappear quickly, and what needs speed usually cannot survive being seen clearly.
Men will intentionally get you emotionally attached to them by creating like this good guy, perfect partner, perfect boyfriend, perfect husband persona. Literally a persona, a fake personality.
That word right there is the whole video. Persona. Because in the beginning, almost everyone has one. Not because they are evil, sometimes because they are performing, sometimes because they want to be liked, sometimes because they are showing you who they wish they were instead of who they actually are. The mistake people make is that they confuse the preview with the person. They meet someone during the polished phase, the charming phase, the patient phase, the phase where everything is controlled, and they say, this is who they are. Now, that might only be who they can be for a short amount of time. Character is not revealed by charm. Character is revealed by pressure. Character is revealed by inconvenience, by disappointment, by being told no, by not getting what they want. That's when a mask gets heavy. Oh, it gets so heavy. That's when the real pattern starts speaking. You see, the hermit doesn't fall in love with presentation. The hermit watches for repetition, because anyone can perform for a moment, but nobody, and I mean nobody, can fake a pattern forever.
And once you're attached, they know it's difficult for you to leave because you are now quote unquote in love with them, or you're emotionally bonded to them. That's when they start treating you worse.
This is why attachment before awareness is dangerous, because once you're attached, you stop observing the same way. Now, you're not just watching reality, now you're defending the story. You start explaining things away. You say, maybe they're stressed. Maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe they'll go back to how they were in the beginning, but sometimes the beginning, it wasn't the truth. Sometimes the beginning was the bait. Sometimes the beginning was the mask. And the version you're seeing now, that's the pattern. See, this is where people get trapped, not just because someone changed, but because they were invested emotionally before they had enough evidence. Now leaving feels like failure. Now walking away feels like wasted time. Now the mind would rather protect the fantasy than admit the truth. The hermit understands this. You do not judge a person by how they act when they're trying to win access to you. No. You judge them by how they act once they think they already have it.
Anybody rushing you and who seems too good to be true in the beginning.
Rushing is always information. When someone rushes trust, slow down. When someone rushes commitment, slow down. When someone rushes intimacy, slow down. When someone rushes access to your time, your body, your emotions, your loyalty, slow down. Not because everyone is dangerous, but because real connection does not need panic. Real connection can breathe. Real connection can survive patience. A false connection needs speed because speed prevents observation. Speed keeps you emotional. Speed keeps you reacting. Speed makes intensity feel like certainty. That is how people confuse chemistry with character. The person who truly wants to know you will not be offended by time. But the person who only wants access, oh, they will hate your patience, because patience exposes motives. The hermit does not move at the speed of somebody's desire and hunger. The hermit moves at the speed of truth, and truth never needs to rush.
But the more in tune with your body you are and the more in tune with your intuition, you don't fall. You immediately start to sniff out bullshit.
This part is important, but it needs balance. Because yes, your body often knows before your mind admits it. You feel the shift, you feel the inconsistency, you feel when something is off. But here's where people have to be careful. Fear can feel like intuition. Trauma can feel like wisdom. Suspicion can feel like discernment. And sometimes the body is not warning you about the person in front of you. Sometimes the body is remembering the person behind you. That is why stillness matters. See, the goal is not to distrust everybody. The goal is to become clear enough to know the difference between a warning and a wound. See, a warning is calm. A wound is loud. A warning gives you clarity. A wound demands control. The hermit doesn't ignore instinct, but the hermit also does not worship fear, because not every nervous feeling is truth. Sometimes it's just old pain asking to be protected.
Stop being so fucking nice and stop fucking trusting everybody just because they're nice to you.
This is one of the biggest traps. People confuse nice with safe. But here's the thing, nice is not character. Nice is behavior, and behavior can be performed. A person can be nice and still be dishonest. Nice and still be selfish. Nice and still be manipulative. Nice and still lack self-control. Niceness is how someone acts when there's no cost. Character is how they act when honesty costs them something. Character is how they act when they're disappointed. Character is how they act when they don't get their way. Character is how they treat you when they no longer need to impress you. That is what you watch. Not the compliments, not the attention, not the early effort. Watch the pattern. Watch the consistency. Watch how they respond to boundaries. The hermit knows this. Do not give someone your trust just because they were nice. No. Give trust slowly, after time, after patterns, after reality has had a chance to speak. Here's the lesson. People do not always fall in love with people. Sometimes they fall in love with attention. Sometimes they fall in love with potential. Sometimes they fall in love with the version their imagination created. And once the fantasy becomes emotional, truth starts feeling like an attack. That is why the beginning matters. Not because you should walk around afraid of everyone, of course not. But because the beginning is where you are supposed to observe. Not attach, not project, not surrender your discernment. Simply observe. Because time reveals what charm conceals. The hermit does not rush to trust. The hermit does not rush to bond. Does not rush anything. The hermit simply watches what repeats. Because anyone can act perfect for long enough to enter your life, but only character can remain steady once the performance ends.